Jaya Radha Madhava Kundra Vihari Vijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Gajanandana. Every day 2 or 3. Yashodanandana Gajanandana.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 19, verses 1 through 19. One is supposed to be one verse. Verse 10. Okay, so let me just chant verse 10. Dashtam janam is text 10.
Yeah.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin.
Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham.
Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham.
Samudharanam kripaya pavarye.
Samudharanam kripaya pavarye. Vacho virasincha mahanubhava.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin.
Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham.
Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham.
Samudharanam kripaya pavarye.
Samudharanam kripaya pavarye.
Virasincha mahanubhava.
Vacho virasincha mahanubhava.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin.
Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin. Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham. Samudharanam kripaya pavarye. Vacho virasincha mahanubhava. Dashtam janam sampaditam vilesmin. Kalahina shudra sukhorutarsham. Samudharanam kripaya pavarye. Vacho virasincha mahanubhava.
do it all together.
Dashtam Bidin, Shanam, the person, Samaditam, hopelessly fallen, by the dark hole, as in this Kala of time, Mana by the serpent, Shukha having happiness, Guru and tremendous, Harsham hankering, Samudhara please uplift,
this person,
by your causeless mercy, Avarge, that away, your words, Asancha, please follow, Mahanugava, Almighty Lord.
Translation, by his disciples. O Almighty Lord, please be merciful and uplift this hopeless living entity who has fallen into the dark hole of material existence, where the snake of time has bitten him. In spite of such abominable conditions, this poor living entity has tremendous desire to relish the most insignificant material happiness. Please save me, my Lord, by pouring down the nectar of your instructions, which awaken one to spiritual freedom. Purport. Material life, so much cherished by the non-devotees, is here compared to a dark hole filled with poisonous snakes. In material life, there is certainly no clear understanding of one's ultimate identity, of God or of the universe. Everything is vague and dark. In material life, the poisonous snake of time is always threatening, and at any moment our near and dear ones will be killed by the mortal fangs of the serpent. Wow, pretty heavy purpose. Ultimately, we ourselves will also be bitten and killed by the poisonous effects of time. The word sampadikam indicates that the fall down of the living entity is complete. In other words, it cannot get up again. Sri Uddhava therefore appeals to the Lord to be kind to those poor fallen souls, humbly represented by his own self. If one receives the Lord's mercy, then even without any further qualification, one can go back home, back to Godhead. And without the mercy of Lord Krishna, the most learned, austere, powerful, wealthy, or beautiful man will be pathetically crushed by the material world's machinery of illusion. Ooh, sorry. Wake up. Yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described here, is Mahan Bhava, or the greatest, most powerful, and most merciful personality, whose influence extends everywhere. The Lord's mercy is manifest in the form of his nectarian instructions, such as the Bhagavad Gita and the Uddhava Gita, being spoken here. The word Shudra Sukhoru Tarsham reveals the irony of material existence. Although material happiness is Shudra, or ridiculous and insignificant, our desire to enjoy it is Uru, tremendous. Our disproportionate hankering to enjoy dead matter is certainly an illusory state of mind, and it gives us constant distress, keeping us bound up in the dark hole of material existence. Every living entity should put aside his false prestige based on ephemeral bodily qualifications and appeal sincerely to the Supreme Lord Krishna for his mercy. The Lord hears every sincere appeal from even the most fallen soul, and the effects of the Lord's mercy are wonderful. Although jnanis, yogis, and fruitive workers are laboriously endeavoring to achieve their respective goals, their position is precarious and uncertain. Simply by achieving the mercy of Lord Krishna, however, one can very easily attain the highest perfection of life. If even one who is not a great or pure devotee of Lord Krishna sincerely appeals to the Lord for his mercy, the Lord is sure to give it generously.
So I hope the purport didn't disturb anyone. But I've noticed that in the purports put together by Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they're closer to the experiences that they speak about. And so therefore the purports sometimes come out very heavy. But ultimately, that heaviness is for our good. So, as Prabhupada would say, please don't mind when it's spoken heavy words. Actually, the title of this chapter, the perfection of spiritual knowledge, is a quite technical section. And we had a taste of purports. What I'd like to do this morning, however, is try to give us a way to approach the technical knowledge that's described in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, and gain some practical understanding of how we can apply these things in our lives. Because after all, the perfection of spiritual knowledge means what? How is it seen? How is the perfection of spiritual knowledge seen?
By the actions?
Yes. Yes, by actions. Knowledge is demonstrated by actions. So we're ultimately meant to be actors in society to represent knowledge. Here in Gainesville, 71, I think it was, Prabhu came, and he was being interviewed by a reporter, either from a television station or the newspaper. And he asked Prabhupada, the reporter asked Prabhupada, how would your followers be recognized? You've heard this before, right? How would your followers be recognized? And what was Prabhupada's response?
Well, be perfect gentlemen.
Yes, they'd be perfect gentlemen.
That goes back.
Ladies and gentlemen. So, how is that perfect, ladies and gentlemen, manifest? It's by the actions of the devotees. And that action is based on knowledge. But sometimes, admittedly, it's a little difficult to understand. And again, this section of Srimad Bhagavatam portrays that We had the first 19 verses of the chapter assigned for today. And as Prabhupada says in the chapter introduction, where's the first part?
This chapter describes how those who practice speculative knowledge eventually give up their method, whereas the pure devotees remain engaged in devotional service eternally. Also described are the different practices of the yogis, beginning with yama.
So it's quite a technical section of philosophy. Out in Alachua, Madhumati and I are part of the reading group, and we're reading right now Bhagavad Sandarbha, which is one of the 6 Sandarbhas written by Shivajiva Goswami. So if you want a taste of technical knowledge, try reading Jiva Goswami's Sandarbhas. Very dense philosophy. Unfortunately, our other acharyas, they've given ways in which to approach the same subject matter in a more easy, practical way. So I want to talk this morning about 3 easy, practical ways of approaching the same perfection of spiritual knowledge, with 3 things. First is a story or an analogy we often find in Vedic literature's stories. Then bhajan, Madhumati is going to sing bhajan, and then an illustration. So these are more artistic ways of approaching the very same subject. So as far as the first story, there's a story from Mahabharata about a king that went out hunting. There's a lot of stories about kings that go out hunting. But this king was suddenly attacked by a tiger. So he got down from his horse and started to run away. Unfortunately, the vegetation was a little thick where he was running, so he tripped and he fell into a blind well. Everybody know what a blind well is? It's a well that was dug and not used anymore. All that's left is a hole in the ground. But it's generally covered. That's why it's called a blind well. So anyway, this king, he ran and he tripped and he fell into a blind well. And as he was falling there, he managed to catch hold of 2 branches that were part of the vegetation covering the hole. So he was hanging on for dear life at the top of this well. And as his eyes adjusted to the darkness around him,
He was under the well, but holding on.
he fell into the well, holding on to a couple of branches. 2 branches. And so when his eyes adjusted to the light a bit, he saw that there were 2 rats in the hole with him. One was black, the other was white. And they were chewing branches he was holding on to. So as he lay there, hanging in midair on branches which were sure to be nibbled away, he felt something splash on his face. And then it fell towards his mouth. He licked it. He thought, oh, this tastes really good.
This one?
It tastes really good.
Oh.
Something fell in.
Turned out there was on the branches, there was a honeycomb. And so as he was struggling with the branches, the honeycomb spilled and the honey was splashing on his face. I forgot to mention that when he looked down, he saw probably that same family of snakes you heard about in the purport today.
Oh.
So from the top, the tiger was prowling, waiting for him to come up. On the bottom were a family of serpents, and they were hissing quite loudly. And he was holding on dear life on two branches that were being eaten away by the two rats. The analogy given on this little story tells what each of these precarious situations represents in our material existence. What material life actually is when you strip away all the illusory ideas about happiness. So, have you heard this story before? No? Well, let's go over what the situation represents. Because as I say, our acharyas give us stories that help us approach the perfection of spiritual knowledge in ways in which we might not be able to if we all just had to rely on philosophical analysis of Jiva Goswami and the other acharyas. So, what do these things represent? Well, the tiger at the top represents death. As it says in the purport that we read today, death can come to us at any time. And it's always prowling around waiting to take us or our loved ones. So the tiger represents death. The two rats, can anybody besides the waiter guess what the two rats and their activities stand for?
Day and night.
Yes, day and night. Well, it's using black and white.
On screen.
Well, the days and nights are constantly going in this particular world. And they take away our lives.
On lights.
I'm sitting right in front of you.
It's taking away the voice.
The night represent our life being uselessly spent. bees, bees also came out of a honeycomb, and they represent the daily problems that material life presents to us. Honey represents is palatable foods, promotion at the workplace, love of friends and dear ones, all the things which give us pleasure. All these things combine to put us in a situation we forget a real situation.
Need to put another one of those things. The similar.
Gopi, send me a picture. This elephant instead of a tiger, but he's hanging and honey is falling. Snakes, these rats.
And all the while, he's drinking.
Yeah, he's happy there.
So what should we
It
do?
doesn't represent us, does it? We're not in that situation, are we?
I like people who wear babies.
All people wearing dhotis. Should they?
It's a funny illustration, but sadly it's very true. That's the position we all find ourselves in. So if knowledge is meant for actions, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do if we find ourselves in that position?
Surrender to what's going on.
Well,
Surrender, that's a start.
Call out for help.
Hey, Govinda.
Call for help, go in.
this illustration, it shows that someone's lending their hand to help us. So maybe we should take their hand instead of trying to keep on licking honey.
Can we take the hand and lick the honey?
That's the question I was about to.
Take the hand, you get a whole barrel full of honey.
Maybe that person has honey.
You had a point.
Find something.
Getting knowledge takes us out of this situation. But it's going to be pretty difficult if that knowledge is materially based. What do you do materially? What you really can do is grab the hand of the Supreme Lord. So it's
What do the snakes represent?
snakes the major problems.
Death.
You make a distinction between the everyday problems, which are the bees, and the big problems, which are the snakes.
Taxes.
Taxes. What are the major problems? Does anybody have major problems here? What are the major problems?
Disease.
Disease, old age, birth.
For those who have control senses, there's an idea.
Yeah, uncontrolled. Yeah. Uncontrolled sense, so that's Definitely major problem.
So, there's a second way of getting this knowledge that acharyas have given to us. Same truths are found in the bhajan by Govindadas. Bhajan. So Madhumati sing it for us. Then we'll do the translation first.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
What does the branch represent?
Well, the branches in my version represent day and night in the middle of the grass. And one falls into the snake of peace.
Our lifestyle. Let me read the translation first. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons. Both in the day and night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons, and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. It is the desire and great longing of Govinda Das to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of the Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense and so forth, serving him as a friend, and completely offering the Lord one's very self. Shinandanandana Abhaya Charanada
Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanada Vindade Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Varahoe Baba Sindhu Siddhatapa Bhata Parishana Edina Jamini Jagire Bifale se vinu kripana durajana Vifale se vinu kripana durajana Chapala sukhala balagire Vedana Jovana Putra Varijana Kamala jala jivana talamala. Kamala jala jivana talamala. Vajahu haripadani tire. Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasya. Pujana sachidana atmani vedana. Pujana sakhi jana atmani vedana. Govinda dasa vilasare. Hure mana Shri Nandanandana Bhaya Charanada Vindare.
So I hope you can see how this bhajan runs parallel to the illustration in the song. And one thing that adds to the story, remember we talked about knowledge meaning affecting how we act. Our actions are based on knowledge. And so in the bhajan, in the last stanza, talks about what he's going to do. Engage himself in the nine classes of the body. And hearing the glories of the Lord, chanting their glories, constantly moving him, offering prayer to him, serving the cause of his spirit, worshiping him with flowers, incense, and so forth. So seeing him as a friend, and offering oneself completely. That's the action that will be shown by cultivating the type of knowledge that's presented in this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now there's one other type of benefit the acharyas have left us. Not one, it's just the third one we're discussing today. And that is the reciproc succession. In the readings, there's a description in text 12 and 13 about how Krishna is asking Uddhava to give the same knowledge that was previously given by Krishna to Yudhisthira at the end of the Bhagavad. Same knowledge that we're discussing here today. And it illustrates an important principle, which is the reciproc succession. So if you wanted to illustrate the reciproc succession, what would you draw or what would you put together to represent the reciproc succession?
A chain. Unbroken chain. Well, sometimes birds also.
Sometimes fruits also.
Unbroken chain.
Straight.
What would be the orientation of the stairs?
The ladder.
The ladder?
Pyramid.
Mhm.
A endless succession of extension cords.
A river.
All these are really, I had in mind, I wrote down my notes here, passing the fruit from the top of the tree down to the sleepy grub of the tree past fruit. Because I think what's common to what you've contributed is an orientation from top to bottom. If you look at, it used to be in Bhagavad Gita, I'm not sure it's there before, there's a painting of this, especially starting from Krishna. It goes in the downward orientation from the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada. So that kind of a downward orientation is essential in depicting the disciplic succession. That's how knowledge comes to us. And that those are the examples that we're supposed to follow.
I found the first one. I just put it.
Krishna is the descendant plan, which is how transcendental knowledge comes to us. It's the descendant way of doing knowledge.
And we would like the pyramid, because there's one at the top and it expands, that's goes down.
The pyramid scheme.
And then many at the bottom.
Yeah, so it's from the top and it's going down.
It's similar to a tree, it's just the other way around.
Other way around.
Also, the river as it flows and gets wider. Yeah.
Is the succession is meant to increase.
Mm.
So those are the three ways that we can escape having great financial take place. And that's so oriented. So does anybody have any questions, reflections, comments?
Thank you so much. At the end of the purport today, there was something that really struck me as a good deal, but it involved the sincerely appealing to the Lord. How would you define that?
Papa himself gives different things that may be applicable to your question. So he says, chanting should be like a cry of a child who is born. That's like a feeling of urgency and desperation. Such cry. I think that in general, allowing ourselves to understand the danger we're actually in, we should allow ourselves to be frantic, particularly in the idea.
I was having uncomfortable.
Desperate.
Desperate.
I thought it was nice how we started off with the image of the guy hanging there desperately, and then the idea was
reach out. There was a picture of Madhumati coming on the video, and he was extending his hand. So now he ended up with this specific succession. It's like the way that Krishna extends his hand. It's not directly, but it comes through this chain of specific succession. So he reaches his long arm and passes through this chain. And by taking the hand of the Guru from our living gurus who are with us, that's the way to grab hold of Krishna's hand. And then I was thinking that the guy hanging on the tree, he's hanging on for dear life on that branch, and he may not be aware that the branch is going to break as soon as the rats chew through it, but he's thinking that that's his only hope. But the difficulty is that in order to grab hold of Krishna's hand and hand of the Guru, you need to let go of the branch. So there's a stage of insecurity there where you're thinking that this branch is it, and at least I'm getting a little happiness here from this honey. So if I give up this, there's a doubt and fear that am I going to fall if I let go? Am I going to be without anything? If I let go of material enjoyment and whatever little security I have here through my home, my family, my job, whatever, all that, then it's hard to let go of something that's known to grab hold of the unknown. So that's why we have to hear, more about Krishna and philosophy, to get a little faith to be able to develop the determination and the confidence to let go and grab hold of Krishna, let go of Maya and grab hold of Krishna.
She kind of pushes us to the brink, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The experience that is when we have to. Thank you. Anything else?
Saying earlier, so is it safe to say that unless we are somewhat aware of this predicament we're in, it will be very difficult to be sincerely appealing to the Lord? Intoxicated by material energy. Yeah.
Prabhu was giving a talk at a university one time. And the subject came up that you might become a dog in the next life. And Prabhu said, the person said, that's okay. And Prabhu felt nice, sad and sorry for the boy that expressed that, because they don't understand the suffering involved even in human life, not to speak of animal life. So we do it with respect.
Thank you for class. I love this story. I'm speculating, but if you gave the snake, the rat, and the tiger the honey, you and Krishna could just walk out of there.
Lucky Jack.
Automatically.
Yeah, let go of your sense of pleasure and just serve somebody else. Walk away with God.
There's a man who goes stone.
I was thinking along the lines of the Lord sometimes making things difficult so that we're motivated to seek Him. I think of the situation with Lord Brahma in the stealing of the cowherd boys and calves, and it's that at the end where he recognizes that the Lord had arranged an opportunity for special mercy so that he could be purified and actually, cling more tightly to the Lord's lotus feet. That I like to refer to it when, speaking and guiding young men, that this is our curriculum with the Lord, even though when we put our hands on the plow of Bhakti Yoga, we might not be having to deal with karma in the technical sense. But the Lord will orchestrate things according to our various attachments to motivate us to cling to Him more tightly. Special mercy or curriculum. He has a pathway for each of us that is very specific, through which we become purified, that will cooperate with that mercy.
He's ready. It's up to us. Cooperate, as you say. Follow the curriculum. Thank you. Yes. Amen.
I was just thinking that of all these different problems and dangers and threats, maybe the one we should be scared of most is Vaishnava Parad. And it's funny that image got an elephant, and Lord Chaitanya says that Vaishnava Parad is something like that. It just destroys our bhakti kripa completely. So we have to be careful. We can be so lax in our dealings with others. We have to constantly strain to keep our lower nature under control so we don't express that towards devotees. And we have to be very careful of this material tendency to always relish focusing on the so-called negative aspects of others. We have to really cut that out, otherwise there's great danger on the horizon for us.
Association of devotees is not only an opportunity to hear from the Shastra, hear and chant together. It's also an opportunity to deal with others, devotees, in a proper way. Of course, the same opportunity is there to deal with others in the wrong way. So, test, so we shouldn't see it as ordinary. It was arranged by Krishna. Thank you.
Just a comment.
Thank you for the thoughts. I have a quick comment about honey. I happened to watch this documentary not too long ago about in South America. There are special wild bees and make nests on the edge of the cliffs. So people who know about this special wild honey, they climb on the edge of the hill, many of them die trying to get it. But a little honey, they lose their life. And the second lesson is that honey also makes them hallucinate. So, given this little honey also makes us hallucinate. See if this world is real.
Money is the honey.
I have a quick question. What was the tiger in that story? What did that represent? That is death. Oh, the snakes are the problems.
Thank you very much.
Jai. Mahaprasad.